Yes people, back on the whiteboard. In today's video I'm going to be explaining how you should be using dropshipping as a stepping stone to future success. If you haven't seen any of these videos before, my name's Jack. In the past 12 months I've done over £2.5 million in ecom, and yeah, in today's video I'm going to be going through a bit of my journey, how I went from dropshipping, making some capital and then deploying that into a real brand, if you could say that, with more long-term vision, because for me the dropshipping stores were a great way to develop a lot of skills, but generate some good cash that we could then deploy into a physical, real product that we have long-term vision into. So let's just get straight into it. Firstly, when you're beginning your journey, you're going to have zero skills. Most of you already know this. You have no experience in website building, have no experience with cash flow, how to run ad accounts, how to do fulfillment with private agents in China. Your ad creatives are going to be shit. Your email marketing, you have no clue. You don't know how to set up email flows or campaigns, anything like that. You should understand this and be okay with this. So every single product test that you do, you're going to be developing one of these skills. You're going to be boosting your skills in one of these areas. You're going to learn how to build a website that converts. You're going to learn how to manage cash flow, how to negotiate with suppliers, how to make creatives that actually convert. All of this together, you need to build to a decent standard so that when you eventually get to scale where you can make some hires, you know what to look for. That's what I've used my dropshipping journey to do over the past 12 months. I've built up a decent amount of skill in all of these aspects. Again, I'm not going to say I'm the best in ecom, I know that for a fact. I'm still learning, I'm not anywhere near where I need to be and want to be, but I'm at a level now that when we make the hires, when we get the creative strategist, when we get the editor, for example, we know what to look for, we know what to expect. We set these roles, deliverables per week, and we make sure that they hit these deliverables. We make sure that they're hitting a decent standard so that we know when we delegate these roles to someone else, they're going to get spent on the ad account. We can continue to push the business forward and then focus on higher leverage tasks, aka managing teams, managing new hires, etc, etc. Also, when you do start, you're going to face so many different issues like DMCAs, ad account holds, cash flow issues, bans, bad performance, scaling. All of these things are completely unnecessary. For me, a lot of people when they first start out, they view bad performance day to day. So say one day they do really good, they get 5 sales, next day they get none. They view that as a negative. For me, I like to look things bigger perspective, long term. Ad account should be viewed over a 7-day period. Long term, you should be thinking, I should use dropshipping as a stepping stone to build some cash, to develop skills so that I could then put that into a future brand, whether it's supplements, a physical product, something custom. Think of it long term, because for me, my dropshipping stores, we've been running for like 1 year. Do I expect to be running them for like 5 to 10 years, like plus? Probably not. They're purely a way to generate cash flow so that I could then deploy that capital into something with long-term vision, like subscription, something that has repeat purchases. Because with dropshipping, every single year, the prices of ads are going up, CPMs are going up, competition is much more. So if you're basing your store just off being like first order profitable, it's going to be extremely hard as we progress and continue through the years. It's just going to become much harder, which is why you see a lot of people transition into supplement brands where they can get repeat purchases, subscriptions, 30-day, 60-day, 90-day supplies, higher AOV. It's much easier to run a Facebook account based on higher AOV and people that are going to come back to purchase. But regardless of that, for things like DMCAs or ad account bans or cash flow issues, we now know when we receive a DMCA that we're completely fine. But we didn't understand that until we faced this issue. So when you have an issue, take it as an opportunity to learn. And actually it's a blessing, because we got a DMCA, I think, middle of last year. At the time we thought everything was falling apart, all our profit was down the drain, we didn't know what was going on. Now if that happened, we get a DMCA through, we're like, yeah, it's fine. They're not going to submit any court order unless it's like a huge brand. We wait the 2 weeks and then re-upload, or we could just duplicate the product page and then change the URL and be up and running back in a day. So these things, when they come up, let them happen. Don't be too caught up in your head. Realize that this is a long-term game. I'm going to have to face these issues if I want to get to massive scale, 100 million a year. These are going to be small. And yeah, next thing is kind of tying all this together. we need to use dropshipping, or at least this is what I'm going to be doing, using dropshipping as a vehicle to learn and build capital. So first thing, which is obviously the most important, you want to become the best marketer. Learn how to consistently churn out hundreds of statics per week that resonate with customers, that target different customer avatars, that get spend on the ad account. This is the best way to focus because Facebook, Instagram are content-based platforms. You need to always remember that. So the engagement, the watch rate, the post-purchase engagement, post-purchase review or whatever, however you like to say it, is very, very important because Facebook want to keep people on their platform at all times. So if you give it bad content, it's not going to push your content. If you give it extremely good content that people enjoy watching, that people like, that people comment, that people share, that's how you're going to get lower CPMs and better results overall. So for me, I want to become the best marketer. I want to learn how to systemize my content. I want to learn how to create a concept, get a creative strategist who provides briefs to an editor. It becomes purely streamlined. We expect this amount of ads per week. If we upload this X amount per week with net new concepts, this is something that I've talked about today, you need to have net new concepts going into the ad account every week, which could be TikTok reply videos, long form VSL, could be static ads that go to a listicle. So many different concepts need to consistently go in the ad account every week. And then when you upload these ads, you need to analyse why they worked. But if they didn't work, you need to analyse that as well and always figure out why ads work instead of just uploading for the sake of it. Because if you do that, you're just hitting, it's just a shot in the dark. You're never going to actually know why the ads are working. So for us, we like to upload net new concepts that stick to a particular framework that consistently works for us, targets a specific type of messaging, a specific type of avatar, and that's where we've seen the best success. Next, do everything yourself at the start. Again, this is what I said at the beginning of the video. You want to have a basic skill set in each of these. Some things I'm better than others, but for the things I'm not good at, I want to give that role to someone else. I could hire them, pay them, they do a better job, and therefore we're going to see better performance in the Shopify store and more profit overall. So for me, you need to have everything done at the start so you learn as much as possible in all of these roles, go through all the issues so you prepared yourself for a long-term brand. Next, take opportunity in Q4 to make some serious cash. In Q1, Q2, things could be much more difficult. You don't see as many people posting screenshots on Twitter. It's quite a difficult time if unless you've got like a real brand, like a supplement brand, to consistently make sales and make profit. But use Q1 and Q2 to literally learn as much as possible, become better in all of these areas here, so that when Q4 rolls around, you could actually make some serious money. And this is how I started in Q4, seasonal product, made some good cash, haven't looked back since because I learned all of these skills. I learned how to make the ads, how to run the websites, how to fulfill, work with a private supplier. And then at that point, it's just a rinse and repeat process because you know what works, you know how to start the store, you know what type of ads you need, and then you could, as I said, rinse and repeat because you've got the skill set there. Next, I know this kind of goes against this point here, but you need to think long term. Obviously, we all want to make quick cash. Why wouldn't we want to do that? But long term, you want to be in e-com for like 5-10 years plus. So don't risk your ad accounts getting banned for some dodgy ads. Don't do anything black hat. If you want to be in this game long term for like 5-10 years, make sure that you're uploading good ads, doesn't go against policies. Don't try and skimp out on chargebacks, not emailing customers. Make sure you do everything right. Treat it as a real business rather than just like a side hustle to make some quick cash. Think long term because you want to be in the game long term. At least that's what's happening for me at the moment. We use dropshipping to build capital so we can then deploy that into brands with long-term vision with repeat customers. And lastly, just to kind of tie all that in together, invest capital into long-term brands with repeat customers. Like I said, when you've generated some good money with dropshipping, you can continue to do that, but you might go through cycles of good and bad in terms of profit, in terms of sales. We, at this point, are ready to take a gamble because we've developed such a good skill set. We now know all of these areas to a decent standard. We're starting to hire team members. We're just going to take a gamble on a custom product. Why not? The amount of times I see brands that are doing extremely well with such basic concepts, basic websites, but they've just took a gamble and they can make it work long term because they know that they're going to be in that brand for 5-10 years plus. So for us, we're taking a gamble on our MRR subscription based product. utilising CAC to LTV ratio. If you don't know what that is, it's utilising the cost per acquisition to the lifetime value of the customer. So if we could pay $20 to acquire the customer, be break even on that, not even any profit at all, but that customer stays for like 6 months, we know that we could spend even $30, $40, go $20 negative, because we know the LTV of the product is so high. So we're going to be utilising this moving forward, because every single year, as I said, it's becoming harder and harder to be on Facebook and be first order profitable, which is why we're transitioning away from dropshipping into something branded with repeat customers. We don't need to be first order profitable, and you could actually build it for an exit. You could start with a concept of a product, start small batch of stock, figure out who your customer avatar is, figure out the best spending ads, and then when you get to a certain amount of like monthly revenue / profit, you then want to bring in team members, creative strategists, editors, VAs, operational guys, all that sort of stuff, and then remove yourself from the business so that you could employ people who are better than you in certain areas, build it for an exit where you're removed from the business, people are running it for you, and you could get a big exit. That's my plans. Hopefully this video made sense. I kind of rambled on. I don't know if this will apply to most of you, but hopefully you could take something away from it. And yeah, we've also just launched a school community. I'll leave a link for that in the description. Do 2 calls per week. And if you join within the next 10 members, I'll also do a free onboarding call for you as well. As I said, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video.